welcome all. Good evening, and I'm Aradhana Tewari from Be the Change page. I'm the founder of Be the Change page, and Access Consciousness certified facilitator and transformational form communication empowerment coach. And how does it get any better? I am so excited every Sunday to be here talking to you all and inviting you for this talk show on Be the Change page. This is my dream. As I always say, it's my dream talk show because I love and look forward to invite people from different facets of life who have actually been following their heart, who have been actually being different and then creating a change on the planet Earth. And you know how when you be your change, how you actually bring up a different perspective to life rather than being same and average and like everybody else. And you know how much in our lives are we actually working hard to be like others, but the invitation here is to like follow your heart and your knowing and the difference you be. How many of you actually follow your heart and the difference that you be? So if not, I just come here, invite different people, and I'll get to learn so much, and they become an inspiration for me. I wish and I do wonder that if these talk shows are actually creating a different world on this in this space, and it's inviting many more people to actually follow their heart and knowing. So that is it. And Be the Change page is that you know it and never give up, never give in, never quit. You know it, and your difference matters, and your presence matters on the planet Earth. And wherever you're sitting, whether you're sitting at home, whether you are doing anything, you are always acknowledged, and your presence is always mattering. And it's only you who has to acknowledge your presence. If you will acknowledge that, starts becoming a gift. So, and there are other very lot of, I'm also an Access Consciousness certified facilitator. I do a lot of workshops, and I come for a lot of other live contents on this platform and on Insta every day at 11:11. I post a question on Be the Change every day, which is like to introspect yourself, where the answers are not lying outside you, they are inside you, and the awarenesses are lying within you. So that is how the Be the Change page started. It started with a question. So every morning there's a question or exercise that has been posted on this platform and on Insta or Telegram and WhatsApp group. So if you guys want to follow it, you're most welcome to follow it. It just makes you that very one simple word or one line. Actually, it's easy to remember. You have no excuses to give yourself that you have to read a lot of material and you cannot question yourself. Question always empowers you, always gives you awareness of who you be from the space of wonderland. So if interested, please follow the page and you can follow the questions. You don't have to do anything for that. You have to just question while you're on the move, while you're sitting, while you're at home, and that might start opening and changing things for you. And everybody who's joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi Rohini, hi Aarti, Amishi, Leena. Thank you all for joining in. So grateful for each of you joining in. And today I have a very, very amazing guest, and she's a beautiful person. And you know how you can actually bring in joy to other people just because you want to, and just because you can, not because you have any point of view around it. So it's just that your presence, you have chosen your presence to make other joyful and active and present. So so my guest today is Sheetal Agarwal, and she is the founder of Clownselors, a volunteer-based group engaged in medical clowning at hospitals where humor is used to expedite the healing process. Wow, isn't that great? Medical clowning is a therapy to aid in the healing process by bridging the gap between physical and mental health and helping relieving stress of guardians and caregivers. Sheetal started medical clowning in Delhi in July 2016 and has received enormous support and appreciation from hospital authorities, health ministry, as well as people around. She lives by a belief that a simple, pure smile has a great healing power and constantly works towards spreading smiles. I so believe that. She's TEDx speaker and has been recognized by various national and international media. She also conducts team building and stress management sessions for various groups, including corporates. She conducts workshops on discovering one's inner clown for schools and colleges. The focus of her clowning workshops is self development and letting go of fears, acceptance of one's own selves. So let's welcome all and unveil the true clown in Sheetal. Sheetal, could you please come online and bless us with your presence. Thank you, Sheetal, for choosing it, saying yes to it. How did my show become so lucky? And thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank,
to you.
thank you, thank you. And it's so amazing, I mean, this is something really I always desire and always has been saying that your smile can change people's world, and you're a living example of it. And I'm like so excited while I was reading your whole bio. Also, was like making me so tingle my body. So I just would like you to start where you started. What is your background, and what actually kind of made you come to this space of, because I didn't know clowning before that, and that was such an invitation when I came across to know about you. Thank you for that. And yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I'll start with maybe, yeah, Clownselors started by accident. So till January 2016, I did not know what medical clowning is. In fact, I only knew of circus clowns, and I was fascinated by clowns through my childhood. So in January, when I was traveling for a retreat, there was a girl called Dhara who had introduced herself as a medical clown, and that got me thinking, or that got me intrigued, basically, that what does medical clowning mean, or what does a medical clown do. So I looked up on internet, and I thought this would be such a beautiful thing to do, because I've been obsessed with smiling. I've got scolded for smiling too much. My teachers used to get really annoyed with me because I used to smile too much, and they thought that I was mocking at them. So
Being happy is not allowed on planet. If you would have been crying, then the teacher would have, sympathetic space for you. But wow, you were smiling. I'm so proud of you, Sheetal. I am there for you.
thank you. But yeah, so
Clowning, if you can explain people here, like what is the clowning part of it?
yes, so medical clowning, or when clowning, or whoever has experienced clowns would know that clowns make people happy at their own expense. So they are very honest, and they express their emotions. So that's what we do. We dress up as clowns, like we don't wear the entire attire, like those baggy pants and big shoes. That's not something that we do. But just to uh, gain attention and amuse, especially because we work with children. So when they see a colorful hair or a red nose, they get really excited or amused. And then we play around with them, and we engage with them. So the idea of medical clowning is that no hospital bed should deny a person his right to play and be happy. And in the healthcare setup, there is a complete focus on physical health. So we try and bridge that gap, because even if we have a headache or a stomach ache or a smallest physical discomfort, we start feeling something in our head as well. So either we get agitated, anxious, or irritable. And so there is a direct connection, mind body link. And we try and heal the mind so that the physically they get better soon. So basically trying to bridge this gap.
So, is it that only the kids get so excited, or is it the adults also actually get excited when they see you?
Yes. So we thought that only kids would get excited, but uh, we started with one hospital, which is a Delhi government hospital, Chacha Nehru Bal Chikitsalaya. And we made sure that not just children, but their guardians, doctors, hospital staff, everybody should get this, at least moment of happiness. And when we used to play around with adults, the first reaction is like, wow, wo hai, bacha wo hai. So as adults, we have learned not to be happy or not to play. So we used to say, nahi, humko aapse hi ke saath hi khelna. We would just continue playing with them. And the kind of happiness they showed was amazing. And then now we go to hospitals wherein we cover both adults as well as children.
So, do adults have that kid in them?
Oh yes, totally. They have. We have had. There was this one incident wherein one clown was playing at a children's hospital itself, and he threw a balloon at a woman, and she got scared and she started saying, "Arey bomb hai, bomb hai." And that became a joke, and then she started laughing so much that how could she think that a balloon is a bomb. And yeah, so, and then when they start playing, they are unstoppable.
Wow. Wow. So, has that changed anything in them? Have you like found a lot of experiences where people have actually got better because of this? And they've got out of, like, what do you think, because you've been into this field for a while now, so what do you think people, what is the sickness all about? Where do people get anxiety and the diseases and the stresses? Is it not because they're not smiling? Is it that they're not acknowledging them? What is it? What do you get that?
I would say that, of course, the smaller things is because we are so tense. And of course, stress has direct connection with a lot of physical ailments, but it is not just that. So there can be genetic disorders, there can be mental disorders, there are various kinds of diseases. And I am not an expert to comment on that, but yes, we've had experiences wherein people have felt better. So even adults have reacted to something after days, they have smiled. And sometimes we are told by the doctors or nurses that this child has not laughed or he needs to react, otherwise he won't be able to survive. And then we try and make them uh, engage with them and try and make them smile or respond. So it's not just the smile, but even if they respond to something, like if they take the medicine or if they start eating, even that helps, because a lot of times children stop eating when they're feeling sick or they're not able to eat. Basically all of us, we stop eating, and eating is really important for healing process. So we've had cases like that. Like one of the cases that I remember is that there was this girl who was almost like in a coma like state. And me and my volunteers were clowning, counselors, everybody was doing something, and we thought that this girl won't react. So we were about to leave, and the mother said that, Please try something on her. I'm sure she'll listen, because she can listen, she might not respond." So we started doing things, and for us it was unusual because she wasn't able to even blink her eye. And the mother also kept saying, "अब भी आई हैं, देखो बेटा आपसे खेलने, आपके लिए खेलने आई हैं," and all of that. And then after about 2-3 weeks, she blinked her eye, she moved her hands,
Wow.
and she started healing. So she started responding. So
Wow.
we know of such cases, like we've experienced these cases, of course.
That's so beautiful. I'm sure it's melting experiences. And thank you so much, so much. But I just wanted to know, like, how did people react? How did your family react? And how did people around you reacted when you chose this? I think this was not your profession earlier. Your profession was some. Can we have a background of your profession and how you got it and how the reaction was when you actually thought of becoming one?
I have an MPhil in social anthropology, and I used to be a lecturer of sociology and social anthropology.
Wow, lecturer. Awesome. Wow,
And
wow.
when I started clowning at that point, I was working with an NGO, and before that, I've also worked with the government Ministry of External Affairs. So, of course, my parents were very supportive. Like they said that, okay, this sounds good, and because they've always wanted us to do something which helps people. So my father wanted me to become a doctor and open a charitable hospital. That could not happen, but now I am called Dr. Clown or Dr. Smile by people around. So I'm like, okay,
Even
it's
smile can give you a business and smile can give you work. I'm amazed. I vouch for that though. And joy follows, like, everything follows joy. And so, I mean, how was it? Like when you started, was it like weird? Were you judged by the people around you or the society? Was there any kind of incidences there?
yes. So my family was supportive, but of course I was expected to work. And my father had told me that uh, do whatever you want to do and experiment, but then don't get disheartened if this does not work, or if you're not able to make help, because you don't know whether it would work or not. So that was a very beautiful advice, I would say, because yes, of course, we take it to our egos also at times, that if I've left everything, then I have to continue this. But from friends, otherwise, like everybody around started saying that, have you lost it? Why are you even doing this? You're so educated, and then you're a woman. Of course, there were some elderly people who said that, इतना पढ़ा लिखाया क्यों हमने, मतलब क्यों
Yeah,
ये पेरेंट्स ने पैसा खर्चा किया if you had to become a clown, because clowns are always seen in a very bad light or a negative light. They're
yeah.
not respected.
Correct. I was
And I
that. What is that like? Yeah.
yes, and I was in a very respectable job. So that's why people had their opinions, but then it started changing when they started noticing. And I had this habit of sharing everything on Facebook. So if there were children who were responding well, or if doctors were there. So there are medical staff who respond to us like, "Oh wow, you're here now. We'll also get a stress buster for 2 minutes." So
Wow.
things like that keep happening, and I used to share it on social media, so people realize that okay, this is helping in some way or the other. And then when media started covering our work, that is when the perception started changing, and the same people who used to tell me that why are you doing this started clowning also. I mean, they have volunteered for Clownselors. So yes.
So did you ever, like, when people were saying, your friends were saying, did you ever felt low within you?
At times, I would say there were moments of self doubts. There still are, because this is a very new kind of a thing that I am trying. And also, I'm not a trained theater actor. I have not been trained into clowning. This is all self taught and uh, learned while doing. So, of course, there are moments of self doubt, and a lot of times people can be insensitive. So, especially people who are trained can say things which don't go down well. But then these are all learning experiences.
What do you
So,
do then? What
I
makes
one thing is if I go for clowning, I forget about everything else. So that is a great stress buster for me. Another thing is I talk to my family or to my friends and I discuss them. And a lot of times I also talk to other clowns, other medical clowns who've been around clowning for years now. So they give me really good advices, or they tell me that, this is going to happen. And what is your purpose? So I say that I want to make people happy. I want to help in the healing process. They said, do you think you're doing that? I say, yes. Then, but okay, everybody has a different way of doing things, and you don't have to bother about it.
so when you believe in you, you never give up, never give in, and never quit.
Absolutely.
Awesome. That is wow. That is such a wow. And I'm so like, I'm really, really already melting with your talk. Thank you. Thank you for that strength. And you people really inspire me, like in the times of like, when you're totally giving up and you're like, but there's always hope. And it's like when you believe and trust in you, I guess
Yes,
you always have a way out. But the only thing is what I get is that you have to trust you.
definitely, definitely.
How is that compared to your, so did you give up your being a lecturer? Did you give up your profession? So how was
Yes.
that in regard to this, and how are you managing, like, and how does that work in your life? Do you ever sense going back that you were a lecturer and you were like this, and that profession would have you got you there, and this is just making people smile? What gives you more sense of ease?
So I loved teaching. I loved interacting with students, and I thought that also kept me on my toes. Like I had to be updated about everything. Sorry, but then I had to make this choice because I didn't want to continue clowning as a hobby, because I could see that it impacts people. And if I had to really create an impact, I had to go out, I mean, and choose one. So clowning is my passion. And of course, it's way above teaching for me personally. I do miss teaching at times, but then that gets covered up when I do clowning workshops. And then students are still in touch with me, so that really helps. And yes, of course, it was a difficult choice to make, especially because clowning financially is not sustainable at this moment. So though
Correct.
the people love the idea, they don't want to pay for it. So
Correct.
like you said,
Yes.
that people don't want to be happy on this planet. So
People don't want to pay for being happy. They like, if you name the workshops as sad, sympathetic, are you going through stress? Are you going through the depression? They're willing to join this workshop. But do you want to be happy? Nobody wants you to join workshops. I wonder how many people on the planet really wants to be happy. And what are we working towards? Is my question to everyone
absolutely,
today. That do you truly desire to be happy? It's like
exactly.
happiness is not like outside you, it's just within you and here. And you just have to see. That's what I get. I wonder what your take is on that, Sheetal. Like, I know it's financially to survive in this linear world, you require
Right.
financial help. So, can you say more about it? Because most of the people don't follow their passion, they don't follow their heart because either they don't have the dignity of the job or the something their hobby or something their passion is. They think that there's no dignity of this work, and this won't get you money. So,
Right.
what would you like to say there? Because people, I think what I've seen most of them don't follow their heart because it's not gonna make money. Say you love gardening, say you love just cleaning or whatever. Could you just put your support?
I think I've been blessed because I have a supportive family and very supportive friends. So when I was going through a financial crisis, they were there to back me up. So a lot of times people don't have that choice. But then if we really want something, and if we follow our heart, nothing is impossible, is what I have learned through the clowning journey, and also living in the moment. I So whenever I have stressed out and I've started running after money, like, trying to contact HRs or trying to contact schools and just trying to fix up workshops, because that those are paid workshops. Even what I was doing does not have the same value. And the moment I tell myself money will follow, I should just focus on the work. Actually, then at least the crisis situation ends.
Wow.
So even if it is a friend helping or somebody anonymously donating, it just happens. But when I'm just thinking about money, nothing works. So
Wow. That's it comes, right? When you give the job to the universe and the consciousness and the joy to actually create, it just creates. So it does.
yes,
The
yes.
magic it does
Oh
happen.
yes.
It was funny. We had this challenge of called interesting point of view challenge on one of on this group, which was like making everything interesting. And I was today only in the morning I was questioning, okay, I'm like, does the magic really happen? And then like interesting point of view, I have this, and then it doesn't happen. Interesting point of view doesn't happen. But somewhere deep down, I do get that magic is possible, and magic is you.
Yes.
So, so it's like at that moment, I know it's tough, Sheetal, and to, somewhere deep down, even you've been supported by your family or with somebody, but deep down you think that it's your thing that you have to get up and you have to pay every day so many.
Yes.
Um, what I get, you live in the moment, you talk to people. What else would you like to say there? Because it really, and as a clown, what would you like to gift to people today here that that can actually inspire them to actually follow their heart, irrespective they have money in the bank or in the pockets or not?
I think one thing, of course, like you said, we've already talked about, is if we believe in ourselves and what we are doing. And for me, clowning has been the most fulfilling experience. So the joy clowning has given me, nothing else has given. So the first time when I came out of clowning, I could not stop smiling. And that keeps me going. And seeing those people smile and those children who wait for me, that aaj clown didi aayingi and she'll make play with us. So this keeps me going. And also, through clowning, I've learned a lot. Like, clowns are really honest, and clowns love making mistakes, and they never give up. And that's something that has taught me so much, that how can I give up being a clown, being a medical clown? And
Can
that
you
keeps me going. And then, yes,
go ahead,
sorry.
go ahead, sorry, go ahead.
And also experimenting. So when I started, it was just medical clowning. I mean, just clowning at hospitals. But then we started clowning at vulnerable spaces. We went to old age home. We went to old age homes. We go to orphanages, refugee camps, and everywhere clowning comes. Like, clowning happens differently, and the reactions are different. Of course, everybody is happy. And then we also did free hugs campaign. We also do free hugs campaign, which is not possible right now. But all these things keep me going. And also the fact that we are not limited. Anything that we try is not limited to just one thing. We can keep experimenting and something will come up. And I've always believed that if we go with the flow, things do happen.
Wow, that is so. I'm getting so space with your talks. I'm like, what question can I ask her right now? Because I'm so happy with you're happy that you can just follow the joy of your heart and you can be happy without money too. I
Yes.
mean, and how much we make money such a big reason that we cannot do this because we don't have money, and how will our people be taken care of? So do you, I know you said we live in the moment, but at times we do fall into the
Yes.
future, right? And that, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with getting into the future? Like you do get at the time when you see like this corona thing going on, and I'm sure it's affecting your stuff
Yes.
because people still do not want to be happy. They just want to like create money. Where is my money gonna come from? What would you say around this corona thing and how to deal, and how are you dealing with that as a crown?
I think every day is a new day, especially during this time. So I take it one day at a time. And then when we talk about future, I think acceptance, that whatever will happen for good. And and also being grateful for what we have right now. So especially during this corona, the first lockdown taught me that, and every time I felt privileged, that I've been so blessed, and we need to count our blessings. So every time I'm worried about my future, I try consciously to see what I have and what a lot of people don't have. And during even the lockdown, we had gone and clowned at shelter homes for migrants, people who had started walking and who were put in shelters. And we were clowning for them. And I realized that I am cribbing sitting at home, that I want to go out, I want to clown. And these people are stuck on just one bed. They can't even move from their beds. They can only go pee and come back. But so we never realize how blessed we are, and we forget to be grateful for it. So whenever I am worried about future, one thing is that I try consciously to divert myself to present. Another thing is then I start thinking about clowning. How can I make it reach other parts of, and especially because I really want to go to the remote corners of India and make people happy. Though I'm sure they are happy, but because even the healthcare facilities have not really reached them. So if we can help in some way, is something that I dream of. I start thinking about that, and that then keeps me going.
So that is the abundance you be and the magnanimity you be, right? So it's like, as I always say, the happiness is already there. It's just that we are not choosing. We are choosing to look at different things and aspects of life rather than actually, you know, changing and shifting our focus and attention on what we have. So
Yeah,
gratitude is the key to keep going on at that
definitely.
time. Wow.
Another thing that I can think of is also, there was something that came and I, I just missed it. Uh, yeah,
Very
we've been trained into thinking about negatives and not about positive. So the moment something goes wrong, we are all over the place. But when we are happy, genuinely thinking nice and feeling nice, we don't even talk about.
yeah, true that. So what would you say? Because I get that most of the world is sick. It's not the people only in the hospitals, Sheetal.
Yes.
Most of the world I see is sick because we are all don't have, I cannot, I don't have, I cannot, I don't have, I cannot. So what you as a clown today can contribute to that change, and like what can you say, like, and ask them to be like, what gift can you be to them? Like I'm literally talking to you, I'm like, wow, the whole world is so. So how many clowns are required, to be that, and that just one simple smile can change people's world.
I think we all need to discover our inner clowns, because we all have that clown in us. And if we discover that clown, we'll definitely choose happiness over anything else.
So how to
And
discover a clown within you?
embracing all emotions. So we are so stuck on just positive emotions. So I shouldn't feel this way, or I should not express this. If we start embracing all emotions, I think life will become way more simpler, because we'll then be able to express that, okay, I'm angry, I'm hurt, and I can honestly tell people this, and then that baggage will be off.
Um,
And just accepting and embracing everything that we have would really help. And as a clown, I think I can say that just forcing yourself to smile sometimes can really work wonders,
yeah.
because a lot of times I've seen that people have forgotten how to smile. So when you smile at a stranger, they give you those looks like, what is wrong with you, do I know you? But when we were growing up, everybody used to smile at each other and say hello. Even just strangers used to say hi to each other. But
Correct.
now that suspicion has taken over us.
That
So
somebody needs something out of me.
yes, and I think if we start, and I think the first step is trusting ourselves, because once we start trusting ourselves, we won't be so suspicious of the world around us as well.
It's so beautifully you said to embrace yourself and to be brutally honest with our own self and trust our own self and be vulnerable with who you be, what
Yes.
you be. That is so important. And it just we all run away from being that vulnerable. And it's so I get that, these social medias is saying everybody also love them and also everybody had the love and hate relationship. But then I'm so grateful for it because it brings us so close to each other. And we are willing to be that vulnerable in the world, and that can be an invitation. you know
Yes.
just say that you're not sorry about you of whatever you're feeling and sensing right now. It's such
Yes.
a gift, and I mean, you have melted my. I do get what you were saying, and I have been always been supporting what you've been saying. But you've been melting my world to a very different level right now, and I'm so grateful that you're on the planet here doing this stuff. And I'm sure I always trust that world is beautiful because people like us do are there and who are actually following. And I'm so grateful for you this. So what else would you like to say to the world? And how could we support you? What is the support structure that you require? And now I guess you went to a TED talk also. So could you share your experience about there and how was the reaction of the people from there?
So my TED talk was about the journey of clowning and journey of Clownselors. So how and why it started and what medical clowning is. And people's reaction, of course, in India, clowning is not very popular, though the therapy in itself has existed since 70s. But we are slowly picking up. Uh, and I hope that we pick up faster than other therapies, of course. And one thing that came to my mind when we were talking is that when we say believe in ourselves, it's also that belief that I am the best. Like, मैं खुद की favorite हूँ ये, even if we think differently, telling ourselves this really helps. And when we start feeding our mind that I'm the best, it starts believing it also. So sometimes,
We're not
it is
allowed to say
important.
that is selfish, Sheet. That's like wrong in the world. How can you tell about yourself? Are you not boasting in the world that although I'm your my favorite and I'm the best? That's not correct.
No, not really. Not really. So there is, of course, self-obsession is something that I'm not talking about. But then, why can't I be the best? Why do I have to compare myself with somebody else? If I am a clown, I am the best. And of course, be open to learning. This does not mean that the world has closed for us, but
Yeah.
it has actually opened up. And
Wow.
when I started thinking that I am the best and I'm good, I actually started feeling better and working better.
And then you receive.
So all my exactly. We don't realize this. So we keep giving and we keep feeling guilty about this is not right about us. This is not right about us. But when we actually start believing in ourselves and believing that we are the best, it changes so much and all in a positive way. So
And
yeah,
then the way you said that if you trust that you are the best, does not mean you stop receiving from the world, and does not mean that people are not gifting you. You can still receive, and you can still be the best. That's such a beautiful way to.
exactly.
Thank you. That's
And yeah, so these are all learnings that I have really been able to discover after I started clowning. So for me, clowning has not just been about going to the hospital making somebody laugh, but it has been a beautiful learning journey wherein I discovered so much about self. I thought I was an introvert, which I realized only after 30 years that I was not. I am a very social person and I love being around people. But for almost, I think for 18 years, I thought that I don't like people. I can only have talk to one or two people. So something like that. So Clownselors has changed a lot for me because it's a volunteer-based group. So anybody can come and volunteer with Clownselors, and we visit all kinds of places. So there are people who are fearful of hospitals or they have a bad memory attached to the hospital. So you do not really have to come, but we've also had people who had a memory or negative memory attached to a hospital, but they came, they really fought their mind and came and clowned, and things changed for them because we tell people that do not just come to watch, because then we'll start, because our mind is trained to look at the negative, we'll only look at the patient's pain. But when we are clowning, we look at their smiles and their response. We stop looking at, oh, what happened to them. That sympathetic lens kind of goes off. So that is really important. And anybody can clown, anybody can become a clown. So if I can become a clown, anybody can. A person, I mean, when my friends had come over, I think I was in 10th or 11th, my mother said, oh, you have so many friends, I never thought you talk to people. So we don't know what all lies inside us. And
It's also reminding me of the movie that was made long years back with Raj Kapoor in Indian cinema of Mera Naam Joker, right? That
yes,
how it got flopped. And it's like every time you're talking, there's a lot of energy being brought up, that how in this world it's like you're a joker, come on, get lost, joker, joker, joker.
Yes.
It's like an abuse, like, when you would call, how to deal with that, like. And here when I see you, and when I'm seeing talking, and you bringing up that joy. So what is it that we're rejecting that joker in us, like wherever we're not willing to be judged as a joker? Can you say they like more around, like jokers are so pretty? Like I'm like, for the first time, like shit, all my life everybody was like, stop being joker.
Yes, yes. So that's what the problem is, that we stereotype images, or we start labeling people. So it's not just with the jokers, but also as well, like agar koi, like body shaming or all these labels that we give. I think we need to get stop doing that. Like even politically, I see so many times that oh, stop talking like a clown, he's such a clown, even today. And now, since I am a clown, I feel that okay, this is so derogatory. But I also realize that it's okay even if people say that oh, you're such a joker. I can just smile and receive it. Or if I don't want to receive it, I can just keep quiet and not react to it, and it does not have to bother me. So and as a clown, I think I also have an upper hand. So there was this incident when a man in the hospital started abusing me, and I had not heard these kind of abuses ever. And I was like, kya bol rahe ho? I just kept I stood there and I was listening, and when he finished, like when he stopped, I said, and I ran away. And I was like, wow, this was so much fun.
That's so cute. I mean, jokers can do that. None others can do it. And
Exactly.
see, guys, what you had to be naughty, what you always want to be, if you're willing to be the joker of your life, you can do it. I mean, what fun. And how much of the fun are we missing? I'm just like, while you're talking, I'm like, are we even willing to be the jokers? And how much of a jokers are we that we're not acknowledging, right? And
Yes.
so many definitions that we have brought to what joker is and is not. But what do you say are the qualities of, like, what makes one joker or clown? What is it? Okay, so can you, like, if everybody has to like start looking in the joker within them and the clown within them, what are the prerequisites, Sheetal?
Like I said, one is, of course, embracing all emotions. So, this is a false opinion when we say that clowns are only happy. And also, this entire thought around people who smile or who look happy are very sad inside. No, that's not true. I
Yeah,
am very happy
around
within.
that. Because sometimes I start doubting myself. Am I actually happy? Because of the saying, which is like
Yes.
interesting point of view, like that people who are actually always joyful definitely are really hurt. And I actually go within myself, not or very often. I'm like, am I actually sad? And then I definitely create some sadness in my world. But thank you for bringing that up. Yes, can we have
Yes.
more around?
Yes, and also like just noticing how our body reacts to things. So it's not, emotion is felt throughout the body. It's not just the face or mind or heart. So if we start just being aware of how we are feeling and accepting that emotion, that is the quality of a clown. That what is the emotion that is coming to us, and then of course making mistakes. Please stop trying, stop giving up, and keep making mistakes and keep trying to uh, make it happen with using some other tricks or something. Like if I'm not able to sit on a chair, there can be million ways of sitting on a chair. So just keep trying. That's
And
really important.
do
Of
when
course.
you make a mistake and you can do to yourself. How about that? I love that. And I've taken that with me. Like, wow, what can I take from here? It's like, wow, I'm gonna do that to myself all the time. Wonder what you guys are gonna do. But that's such a relief for me within me. Ah, I can do that. See, you're already making me so joyful. Thank you. And
Thank
what
you.
else? And what else? Say more. How,
Also,
wait,
sorry, no, I
go
was saying that a lot of times when we do something for somebody, we start talking about selfless service and how we are doing this for others. But I completely disregard this thought. I say that we do things because we like doing it. So I am doing clowning because it makes me really happy, and what keeps me going is the happiness that it brings to me, the fulfillment that it brings to me. Of course, I like making people happy, but what is the reason behind that is because it makes me happy. So I don't think there's anything called selfless giving.
You're not doing to, like, for the charity. You're not doing to from the space of empathy or sympathy or the compassion. Can you guys see Sheetal is doing it because it brings joy to her? Wow, so love you.
But of course, empathy, compassion are all a part of it. And
Right.
I think we need to stop looking at it from that selfless perspective, because anything that we are doing has some amount of I in it. Like, why do I want to do this, or why am I doing this? So that is something that I've always believed in. So first day of clowning, when people call it selfless service, I feel no, it is not.
Wow. Oh my God. I know how much of the planet are you already melting, Sheetal, with your presence. It's like amazing. I can so sense it. And there's not enough words in my world to actually say, I mean, thank you, with my gratitude is so flowing to you and will always be. And, and yes, I'm very happy I can trust myself and say that the world is existing because there are people like you who are actually following their heart and their space. And, I mean, no money can give you this, right? I know
Yes.
money is important. It's a very, very important
Yeah.
aspect of our lives and this reality. But Corona has made changed that. It's not that people are dying of hunger. People are not dying of hunger. They're dying of Corona. Even
Exactly.
if, money situations happen, people never died of because of not eating. I heard somewhere that more people die because of more eating than rather than less eating.
That's true.
So everywhere, guys, you're making money bigger than you. Here is a living example, and I'm sure many of them who are being this clown cell have been really doing and working in very different facets of life. People are doing this and following their heart. So, any questions, guys? You guys have it, Sheetal? You can please type, and I'm on the chat, and I'm looking at it if you guys want to ask her. So what else, Sheetal? How can we contribute? How can the world contribute more to you? What in any respect, like is it there's a links where we can give money, or is it that you have to give person? What is it that you require support from? Everybody watching here now and in future.
So Clownselors is a volunteer-based group. It is not a registered organization as yet. And I've been very idealistic. I thought that I don't want to turn it into an organization and take funds. But hopefully we will do it, because if we really want to expand, then we'll need a registered organization. But as of now, it is not. So if anybody wants to contribute monetarily, then it is Sheetal Agarwal, individual. But Clownselors, if you want to look at the work, what we do, so there are videos, there are pictures, and of course, many experiences that we've shared on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube.
So
So
all the links would be mentioned here in the chat, guys. If you want to follow Sheetal, you can join our Facebook and Insta and stuff.
yes, so and of course, you can join as a volunteer.
You can always join as a volunteer. And you can see, does your smile actually change anybody's world or not?
Yes.
Right. So, yeah, thank you. And what would you like to say? Like, be the change is like, what would you like to say here? Because that be the change is my invitation to the world is like, come on, be the change. What you are being, Sheetal. So, could you like to say something around this to the world? And where would you like to invite? I'm sure all your talks have been inviting them, but is there something specific around be the change that you would like to say to us?
I think how we look at mental health, like breaking that stigma around mental health, is something that I feel needs is the need of the hour. And if we can visit a doctor for physical pains or whatever we are going through, then of course we can visit a psychologist or counselor or anybody for our mental health as well. If we are feeling anxious, if you are feeling stressed, please do visit a professional, seek help, talk to somebody. Another thing is, because I'm a medical clown, I've realized that in the hospital, whenever we visit a patient, we go with long faces and we ask kya hua, and we have that sympathetic tone. Trust me, people don't need it. We need more joy at hospitals, in the hospital setup, and those patients really need some cheering. So if we visit somebody, if we are visiting some friend, family, anybody, let's go with a smile and try to cheer that person up rather than being all sympathetic and oh my god, ye se kaise ho gaya. That really helps.
Wow, that's amazing advice. And also, just a personal question. So, how's the your personal life behind this clown. So could you like say that how does that bring now when you've actually been adopted? Like I think when you adopt yourself, the world adopts you. So it's like when you been adopted. So now, how do you think that how the world takes you now? How's that? Is that exactly the same? That smiling, the joy in your personal front of life, other than behind this frown?
Uh, yes, I'm mostly smiling, but then I feel all kinds of emotions. So I get agitated very easily. And
And
when I,
you're allowed.
yes. And the one thing that I suggest people is that if I'm really annoyed at that point, just don't ask me. Don't poke me at that moment. I'll come back and tell you what's wrong with me. But at that moment, I just want to be left alone. But otherwise, I'm a happy soul. And my mother keeps saying that you'll never grow up. And I honestly don't want to grow up. And I
And
don't think there is anything called growing up.
wow, I think no one of us grows up. We somewhere always in a child in us, and I wonder when we say that we don't want to grow up, but physically we're definitely growing. But what if we keep those energies? Because what I see as a kid energy is no judgmental energy,
Exactly.
and that is the kid in us. No judgment is the kid in us. So and why not? And then people like grow up. What do you mean by grow up? It's like start judging because that's the only difference I sense in my life as a kid and when I grow up adult. And that's why probably we don't come to know when we have grown up because
Yes.
we inherently are not there to judge the world and say something. But when the moment you start judging, you have become an adult, right?
Yes. And the moment we start questioning ourselves, if I do this, people will judge me. I think as a kid, we don't bother about the world. We can eat sand and we won't be bothered who says what. But now, even if we are just smiling I mean, even our expressions are measured according to how people will react.
Yeah.
So
I
I,
think that's the only space now because that was, and thanks to you that it actually brought up in my world that I've been asking this question: what is the difference between a kid and an adult? I just get just judgment.
yeah.
We always work in our kid and will die as a kid if we have no judgment, and I'd be willing to be that. And when you call in a kid or an adult, and we don't have to separate ourselves from
Oh,
us.
yes.
That'll be so beautiful. Wow. Thank you, Sheetal. That is so amazing. This um, show has really melted my world to a very different space. And I'm sure everybody watching is also got a lot of it and who'll be watching in future will be getting a lot of stuff. So if you have to follow Sheetal, you can follow the links on the in the chat here. And please share this with as many people as you can and wonder what that gift would be to the world. And thank you, Sheetal. And I wish you all the very best and
Thank you. Thank you so much.
smiling, keep being joyful, and wonder what all spaces and places we can go in future. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anything else you would like
Thank
to say
you.
before you want to go, Sheetal?
I want to thank you and I want to give you a big hug.
Thank you. I too. I want to hug you. I want to hug everybody who's present here and future. And my big hug and thank you to my team, Sonali, Ritu, Parita, and Shivangi, who co-create this with me. Wouldn't have been possible without them. Thank you, guys. I love
Thank
you all. Thank you, Sheetal. Thank you, everybody who's watching it. It will not be fun if you're not watching it along with me and melting this together. So, all the best, everyone, and keep watching and see you next week on the same show at 7. And what else is possible with a new guest, inspiring guest. Thank you, Sheetal. Thank
you. Bye.